Welcome to Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's, the investigative journalism program where I ask the question, whatever happened to the pizza at McDonald's? I'm your host, Brian Thompson. I come to you today with some dispiriting news. I have finally heard back from the Parks and Recreation Department at the city of Alexandria, Virginia, and it appears as though my application to construct and display a life-sized bronze statue of Alexandria native and first Ronald McDonald's Mr. Willard Scott has been denied even before it could be filed. Just over 2 and just under 4 days ago, I received the following correspondence from a city representative whose name I will censor to protect their privacy. Mr. Thompson, my name is I am the at the City of Alexandria Parks and Recreation Department. I appreciate your request for a public art application to display a statue of Willard Scott. I can send you the application, but you should know that the city has already made plans for the location you mentioned at South Washington and Prince Street. Due to factors, our budget for projects such as public art is constrained for the 2021-2022 fiscal year. I would suggest you attempt to achieve private funding and display opportunities for your statue. Many Alexandria landmarks have been created using private funds and displayed to the public in places not owned or controlled by the city government. You could also try applying for a public art grant at the end of 2022 or beginning of 2023, when our resources may be more robust. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach me by email at or phone at Good luck with your project, and I wish you all the best. Sincerely. First of all, I would like to thank for the kind correspondence. I do not even blame this person for the correspondence's numerous obfuscations and outright falsehoods. I would imagine a city job comes with quite a few fewer health hazards than the coal mine where everyone else in Alexandria works. The just following orders defense may not have held up in certain international trials, but I am willing to accept it here, considering the circumstances. But I cannot allow these obfuscations and falsehoods to go unaddressed. While it is true that I suggested my Willard Scott statue take the place of the former Confederate monument located at South Washington and Prince Street, it is also true that I stated that just about any other public location would also prove suitable, including any public park, school, or mayor's residence. I also find it curious that the factors affecting the public art budget are not itemized in this correspondence to someone whose tax dollars are the primary source for said budget. True, I do not live in Alexandria, Virginia, and have not, in fact, ever been there, so none of my tax dollars contribute to the local community. But there is no way could have known that. And regarding this suggestion regarding pursuing private funds regarding my proposed statue, I find the idea somewhat absurd. It is inconceivable that my statue of Willard Scott could ever join the ranks of Alexandria's privately funded attractions, because there are no privately funded attractions to speak of in Alexandria, save possibly for Gadsby's Tavern, where the great Benjamin Franklin once became so intoxicated that he flew a kite in a thunderstorm. But while I do not wish to cast any aspersions upon I very much wish to cast aspersions upon employer, the government of the city of Alexandria, Virginia. However, it is notoriously difficult to achieve any sort of justice when slighted by public officials. I could approach a higher authority, such as the governor of the state of Virginia, but I am simply too busy to look up who that is. I could petition the President of the United States, but I have no faith in anyone within that administration to hear my complaints, as they have still yet to honor my request to be sent any McDonald's hamburger wrappers or other related artifacts left in the White House by the previous president. No, If I am to receive any kind of restitution for my treatment at the hands of the city of Alexandria, I will have to petition the one organization that exerts authority over all world governments, the United Nations.
Hello, you have reached the New York office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights.
Wait while I transfer your call. Sorry?
Rikia Sumana
Is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, my name is Brian Thompson, and I believe my human rights may have been violated by the city of Alexandria, Virginia. Just for a bit of background, recently the city of Alexandria, Virginia was forced in disgrace to take down a Confederate monument. And I saw this as an opportunity to advance my educational enterprises having to do with a certain menu item at a fast food restaurant. I will not go into it now. I'm sure there's a time limit on this message. But ultimately, I wanted to build a life-size statue of the great Willard Scott, who you may know as the weatherman on the Today Show, but whom I would like many people to know him as the first Ronald McDonald's. I spoke with several people within the city government, eventually culminating with a conversation with someone in the Parks and Recreation Department who told me they would be sending me an application form to build public art with public funds. I waited quite a long time for this form. I never did receive it. And then just over, I believe 2 days ago, but less than 4 days ago, I received correspondence from someone else within the department who basically gave me the proverbial runaround and told me a series of untruths regarding how many landmarks were in the city and completely obfuscating issues regarding the city budget, etc., etc., etc. Now, this person did also tell me they could send me the form in question, the application for public art, but I believe now that action would not be speaking toward any actual goodwill regarding building the statue and is therefore mute. I do not recall who is the current Secretary General of the United Nations. The last I remember was a gentleman who had two first names. I know one of them was Boudros. But whoever it is, if they could please call me back, my telephone number is Oh my goodness. I just picked up my telephone, which is actually really tantamount to a pocket computer, to confirm my number, and oh my goodness. I just received some startling correspondence. Unfortunately, I had to pause my mission regarding my Willard Scott statue, for the message I received on my telephone, which is really tantamount to a pocket computer, shocked me to my very core, metaphorically speaking. More details on next week's program. And now, a word from our sponsor. The bills are piling up, and payday is nowhere in sight. You need cash, and you need cash now. Why not start a podcast and run an advertisement for Squarespace? Millions of people just like you have stopped debt collectors dead in their tracks with a quick influx of cash from the Squarespace advertisements on their podcasts. Simply record yourself and your friends talking about violent crimes, leftist politics, or vaccine misinformation. And before you know it, the electronic payment from Squarespace will be deposited straight into your account. Now you will not have to decide between eating dinner or having electricity. Squarespace. Get money easy. Thank you for listening to Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's. For more information, please visit our attractive website at pizzaatmcdonalds.com, where you will find links to our Patreon, our Twitter and Instagram, and our extensive merchandise store at TeePublic. Visit pizzaatmcdonaldsradio.com for a 24/7 stream of classic episodes, plus the exclusive live broadcast of the full hour-long Whatever Happened to Pizza at McDonald's radio program every Thursday night at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Finally, you may purchase my best-selling book, How to Be an Investigative Journalist, at howtobeaninvestigativejournalist.com, or wherever books are sold. Do you know what happened to pizza at McDonald's? Do you remember it? Please send all correspondence to pizza@mcdonalds@gmail.com. And thank you to my invaluable Patreon producers. I'm Brian Thompson, Investigative Journalist.